Filipino man wins 10th Laguna International Marathon. Waterworks say man must pay 17,000 baht water bill. Early June deluge floods streets, falls tree on civil servant's home. Police arrest shooter of man gunned down in front of dozens of witnesses after drunken brawl. Phuket police bust Koreans in online gambling operation. Phuket Admin Clerk leads Phuket Buddhists in Visek rites. Passengers on AirAsia flight evacuated after false bomb scare. Authorities assemble fishery labor market ahead of July 1st crackdown. Filipino man wins 10th Laguna International Marathon. 31-year-old Mario Maglanao of the Philippines won the 10th Laguna Phuket International Marathon as the annual running festival took to the island's roads on Sunday, June 7th, with more than 5,700 entrants of all ages and abilities from 43 countries competing on a variety of distance courses in an atmosphere of community fun and charity fundraising. Maglanao finished the 42-kilometer marathon with a time of 2 hours, 55 minutes, and 35 seconds. His winning LPIM trophy represented the third annual partnership with the sister race, the Italian 10-kilometer Igrani Run, in an initiative by Laguna's sponsor, the Tourism Authority of Thailand, the TAT, which also sponsors the Igrani Run. I ran the marathon since 2005 in the Philippines, and I had run over 40 marathons so far, said Maglanao. I had a good start today, but I tried to save my energy during the first half because I know the weather is going to be very hot later in the race. I picked up in the second half and started my lead after the 21st kilometer. I continued about the race. This is my first time to LPIM, and I love it. I'm definitely coming back to defend my title next year. For those of you who are training to be a marathoner, keep training and train hard. It will bring success to your run. See you at next year's race, he concluded. The women's 42-kilometer race was won by 48-year-old Satomi Oka of Japan in 3 hours, 43 minutes, and 17 seconds. In the half marathon, 34-year-old Koichiro Yamanaka from Japan finished in 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 38 seconds, beating last year's record of 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 55 seconds. The women's half marathon top finisher was 36-year-old Cristabel Martes of the Philippines, who finished in 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 12 seconds, also beating last year's record of 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 19 seconds. The 10.5-kilometer race saw 22-year-old Daniel Vegan from Australia finish in 39 minutes and 23 seconds, and for the woman, it was 44-year-old Sirapat Putjin from Thailand, finishing in 46 minutes and 22 seconds. Waterworks say man must pay 17,000 baht water bill. Mr. Pornsak Sangsi, 30, of Ratsada, was shocked when he recently received a water bill for nearly 17,000 baht. After all, his usual bill is only 100 to 200 baht, as he typically only uses about 10,000 liters per month at his house, where he has lived a long time. But this past month, his water meter showed that he had consumed 549,000 liters, mounting to a bill of 16,829 baht. After Mr. Pornsak filed a complaint with the Phuket Waterworks Authority, a team came to inspect his property located on Thungka, Kuan Dindang Road, but could not find any issues with the meter and suggested that the problem was likely a broken pipe underground, and being the case, he would have to pay the bill as it was his responsibility. The PWA advised him to pay the bill in more manageable monthly installments, but that he would ultimately have to be responsible for fixing the leak and paying the bill. Early June deluge floods streets, falls tree on civil servant's home. On the morning of June 1st, a downpour saw several streets flooded across Phuket for a short period, namely on Tawiwong Road in Patong. Winds that accompanied the rain were strong, enough so as to knock down a large 30 to 40-year-old banyan tree, which blocked passage on the main road near government offices in Phuket City's Dalat Yai subdistrict. The tree, which witnesses said fell with a loud boom sound, caused damage to a gypsum wall at the back of one house, but luckily nobody was injured in the incident. Workers had to use saws to cut the tree into manageable pieces so that the obstruction could be removed. Police arrest shooter of man gunned down in front of dozens of witnesses after drunken brawl. Police say the two suspects who they arrested early on Sunday, June 7th, have admitted to charges of gunning down another man late on Saturday, early Sunday, in front of dozens of witnesses near Chalong Circle. The suspects, both from Patalung province, were named as 26-year-old Mr. Tarapong Nepbua, the alleged shooter, and Mr. Uranan Tongpante, 27, who was the getaway motorbike driver. The pair were nabbed by police at 4 a.m. on Sunday at a house near Tesco Lotus Chalong, following a swift manhunt. Police were initially alerted at about 1:15 a.m. of the shooting, which took place on Patak Road, about 500 meters from the Chalong traffic circle. When police arrived at the scene, they found the lifeless body of the victim face down in a pool of blood in the middle of the road and surrounded by hysterically weeping relatives and dozens of onlookers. The victim was identified as Mr. Apiwat Sipet, 29, a Trang native who lived on Soi Nakok in Chalong and worked at a popular hotel in Garon. Witnesses told police that prior to the shooting, Mr. Apiwat was drinking at a pub with 3 friends. Witnesses said that an altercation occurred between Mr. Apiwat's group and a group of juveniles at another table, which escalated outside. Outmanned, Mr. Apiwat fled on foot, but the 2 assailants caught up on motorbike and fatally shot Mr. Apiwat with what has been described as a homemade gun, orปืนไทยประดิษฐ์. Phuket police bust Koreans in online gambling operation. 8 South Koreans were arrested in Phuket on June 3rd, accused of running an online gambling ring from condos in Phuket town. Police estimate that their operation could have had an annual turnover of more than 100 million baht. Police arrested the 8 men in raids on 4 different condo units near Daurung Witia School. The suspects were named as Lee Sok Jung, 30, Ju Sang Oh, 28, Han Hong Hee, 28, Kim Yang Jae, 33, Oh Se Wan, 35, Lee Jung Min, 31, Moon Yan Chon, 34, and Lee Kang Yong, 35. Police are still looking for the mastermind behind the gambling ring, who they believe is still in Phuket. In the raids, police seized 60,000 baht in cash, desktop and notebook computers, mobile phones, and many other items from their rooms. They also seized 100 one-time password devices and the bank books for their corresponding bank accounts. Police Commander General Pachara said that the gang started their illegal business about 3 months ago, and that the website they were operating was exclusively for Korean members, adding that the men acted as personal account managers for clients who placed bets on football, basketball, baseball, and volleyball matches. Transactions recorded in the bank accounts seized showed that the cash turnover for the operation so far averaged about 100,000 baht per day, but police believe that there was a lot more than that. Police said that the suspects confessed that they were each paid 60,000 baht a month to operate the Korean language website, and that Thailand was an ideal place to run the business due to lighter punishment risk. In Thailand, the punishment is from 3 months to 3 years in jail or a fine of up to 60,000 baht, or both. But in South Korea, the jail time would be up to 5 years and the fine hundreds of thousands of baht. Phuket Admin Clerk leads Phuket Buddhists in Visek rites. Phuket Palat, or Administration Clerk, Mr. Pakpum Intarasuwan, led students and other Buddhists in Phuket to partake in religious ceremony on the occasion of Visek Day on June 1st. Visek Day is an important Buddhist holiday that commemorates important events in the Buddha Gautama's life, namely his birth, death, and enlightenment, which apparently all occurred on the same full moon and lunar month, but in different years. The ceremonies include paying alms to Buddhist monks, chanting, meditating, and hearing a sermon by a senior monk, Prakru Prakun Sutkit, at Wat Vichit Sankharam Temple in Phuket Town. The activities concluded with the candle procession around the main temple hall to mark the Holy Trinity, or Triple Gem, of Buddhism. Passengers on AirAsia flight evacuated after false bomb scare. A Thai language teacher in Phuket faces up to 5 years in jail and a fine of up to 200,000 baht, or both, for allegedly making a bomb threat on a Bangkok-bound AirAsia aircraft right before it was to take off from Phuket International Airport on May 22nd. The pilot on board the flight aborted takeoff after he was told of the risk of a bomb being on board the plane. Ms. Panarat Nopakun, 38, was taken into custody after she reportedly told a flight attendant on the flight that she had 2 water bottles that could be bombs stowed in her luggage in the undercarriage. The suspect was unhappy when airport officials did not let her bring water onto the plane, and her sarcastic remark was taken literally. The attendant informed the pilot, who brought the aircraft to a halt and had the passengers evacuated as the plane was moved to a safe distance where it could be inspected. Explosive ordnance disposal officers had all the luggage hauled off the aircraft and searched, and they searched the passengers' carry-on bags and the plane itself, but no explosives were found. Ms. Panarat told police that her remarks came because she felt that the luggage inspectors at the airport were rude to her. Ms. Panarat and her companion, Swiss national Walter Jern Leisinger, 60, were taken to the nearby Tachat Chai police station for questioning. Once cleared for takeoff, the passengers reboarded flight FD 3002, which left Phuket at 10:47 a.m., 2 hours after its original scheduled takeoff. Authorities assemble fishery labor market ahead of July 1st crackdown. On June 2nd, Navy officials held a meeting at the Sapan Pla checkpoint in Phuket Town, assembling hundreds of migrant laborers, fishery operators, and labor agents to discuss ways to solve the problems of human trafficking, in line with the government policy. The government has announced July 1st as the D-Day for cracking down on companies and agents who have not complied with requirements of the laws for employing and registering migrant laborers. On hand at the meeting were translators and a host of officials who disseminated documentation and information about all the laws and requirements for registering laborers correctly, as well as outlining the rights of laborers and companies. Authorities warned that after July 1st, there will be stringent checks and inspections on fishing boats and related operations, and that any violations will be handled with the full extent of the law.